Dan and Corey here, welcoming you into Libservative.
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back.
Ground zero. So this is where the first guy got AIDS.
Peter, this is the site of the 9/11 terrorist attacks.
Oh, so Saddam Hussein did this?
No,
The Iraqi army?
no,
Some guys from Iraq?
no.
That one lady who visited Iraq that one time?
No, Peter, Iraq had nothing to do with this. It was a bunch of Saudi Arabians, Lebanese, and Egyptians financed by a Saudi Arabian guy living in Afghanistan and sheltered by Pakistanis.
So you're saying we need to invade Iran?
Welcome in to another rousing rendition of Libservative, intellectual idiots fostering political and cultural literacy, and the world's smartest internet show. Am I on the right microphone? Did I
Sounds
fix
like
that?
it.
Yeah, we're good. Okay. Bell the Bodysnatcher on the ones and twos. He, as always, is Corey Walsh.
He's Dan Griffin.
And supporting the Iran war is woke and gay. How do you know this is true? Just listen to all the propaganda. Just listen to all the rhetoric being forced out there. The doublethink regarding this war for the people that support it is absolutely astounding. So you spend 6 years, basically 6 years, probably more, who knows? All the years run together at this point. Shitting on libtards for putting foreign immigrants over American citizens. But somehow we have to put the Iranian citizens over Americans because we have to save them, and that's totally cool. You couple that with telling folks that if you don't support this war, you hate America and you love the Ayatollah for simply opposing a bullshit war of choice. But somehow the Iranians that allegedly hate their government, well, those people are uber patriotic, and we have to help them in their cause against their own government. This idea that opposing your government means you hate your country is the most brain dead argument I think these people have. And Corey, it's the only argument they have other than character assassination. What I have noticed over the course of this past week, when I scroll through Twitter, I've spent more time on Elon must be loving this, because I've spent more time, not just me, but I think everybody has spent more time on X in the last week, maybe than in the site's entire history.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
all
same
I'm
here.
seeing is the people that you would expect, the Mark Levins, the Laura Loomers, and their ilk.
The Ted Cruz's,
The Ted Cruz's, sure.
the Ben
There are many.
Shapiro's.
The Ben Shapiro's, yep. These people cannot say anything other than Tucker Carlson takes money from Qatar and Dave Smith hates
All of
America.
these flip-floppers,
Dude, and
these
it's
fake
okay.
MAGA, who none of them claim to be MAGA anyways, which is hilarious. I find it hilarious that right now they're like 98% of MAGA supporters support the war in Iran. And it's like, sure, but how big is your base now? I feel like anybody that I try to engage with on any social media platforms that is claiming to be MAGA just feels like a bot. I don't think I've met any, like, I know a couple people in real life who still support Trump because but their retort is still better than Harris. It's like at this point they're even holding their noses. But it's just the 98% of what?
Right.
1,000
Every
people. It's
and
not
they'll
like
throw
it's a
out like
big coalition of millions and millions and millions of people anymore. It's easy to, like, you pull a group of 1,000 people and you say, all right, how many of you have AIDS? And only 20% of them do.
That's a lot.
And then you invite them all to an orgy, and 200 of them show up to the orgy, and the other 800 said, "Ooh, no thanks," and they left. And then all 200 get AIDS after the orgy. And then you go, "How many of you have AIDS?"
That
And
would
then
be
they go,
impressive. That would be,
"Oh."
Corey, that would be some power AIDS, dude.
Oh, we all do. You know what I mean? Though it's just like, what the fuck? Like, you just negated a shit ton of the people. Some of the biggest talking points from your whole entire group, the Marjorie Taylor Greens, the Tucker Carlsons, you know, like the people that we've been mentioning, all who said bon voyage to that Titanic heading out into a fucking iceberg landmine, and said, "No thanks. I've seen this one before." And they're like, "I'm not being a part of that." And then
Megyn Kelly, can't forget Megan. She's been pretty good too.
right. And then Matt Walsh. And then everyone that's left is like, "Look, hell yeah, guys, we're still at it." But it's like your circle is getting smaller and smaller and smaller.
Walt
Not
closing in.
Not by the minute, not by the hour, by the second, by the post, by the bomb drop, by the number of American soldiers dying. You know what I mean? Like, there's a million things you can say, and Trump's floundering.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna get into it a little bit later in the show of the different little pivots he's making now on different shit. But yeah, no, it's insane to me, this whole 98% of Trump supporters. It's like, yeah, but how many of those people, like, when it's like that, it's the smaller entrenched, like the last 300 of the Spartans who all have their shields up. Yeah, that's fine. You know what? You go to my family and you pull all three of us, of how many of us like breathing air, it's probably going to be about 100% roughly.
You also have to factor in, how is the poll conducted, right? So, because what they keep,
well, that's what I'm
posting
getting at. Yeah.
Well, because like, so when you're taking a political poll, right? When you're asking, who are you supporting in this year's election? There's only a couple ways to answer that, to A, ask that question, and B, answer that question. So you can take election polling a lot more seriously, and it's been relatively accurate, because there are only so many ways to ask that question. When you're talking about something like support for a war, it really, really depends on how you ask that question, right? So if you ask the question, you know, do you support the war in Iran? Did you ask it that way? Or did you ask it, do you support Donald Trump's actions in Iran? Those are two, no, you can get two very different answers.
The poll should start having the option of, it's complicated.
Yeah, it's like, not
because like, I'm vehemently against this war. This war does nothing for you or me. It's going to raise our gas prices. It's going to disrupt supply chains. It's going to cause inflation. And if there's boots on the ground, then we're going to start seeing funerals in our neighborhoods for American soldiers going to a war at the behest of another country. Okay. But I can say that. And I can also say, oh man, I'm not going to lose a single wink of sleep over the Ayatollah getting killed. Like, fuck that guy. Rest in piss. He was a piece of shit. But did he deserve, like, did we have to put our livelihoods at jeopardy for that, for something that's happening thousands and thousands of miles away, for a country who according to our president, didn't have nuclear weapons, and they only have short-term and medium-range missiles, but they were going to get them, you know, for the last 30 years, they were going to get them.
I've stopped even giving that qualifier of saying that I don't support the Ayatollah. Like, well,
fuck him. It's
well,
like if someone said, "Oh, but do you support him?" No, fuck him. He was a piece of shit.
But I'm not.
He was probably gonna die within a year, anyways. The motherfucker was 86 years old.
I'm not gonna. I'm just done. I'm just done engaging in that stupid qualifier stuff to, you know, appease an argument, because you're gonna get accused of that anyway. It doesn't, because it depends
on who you're talking to. If you're trying to find common ground with someone to try to sway them, being like, "Hey, look, no, this is bad." But if it's like, you know, that's going nowhere, then it's like, "Fuck you." You know what? No, fuck you. I love the Ayatollah. I wish he was my president.
You might.
You know why? Because fuck you. That's why.
Yeah. So the propaganda was in full swing. I mean, I shit you not, Corey, because the Trump made his little goofy speech. Was it Friday night, like early Saturday morning, right? That's when it was done. So I
woke
woke
up
up.
to the text from one of you guys like, well, we dropped the bomb and we started dropping bombs. And I was like, God damn it.
I woke up that morning. I hadn't even gotten out of bed yet. I rolled over, grabbed my phone, and I was flipping through. We're hours into this. And it was amazing how full swing the propaganda machine was just at that point. They're already calling it Operation Epic Fury because for some reason this administration thinks that like giving something some like tough video game name like makes it okay.
This administration listens to our podcast and heard me talking shit about the name 12-Day War.
I mean, Hegseth's just going through this thing like it's a goddamn video game. There's the whole like war is peace angle, right? Like peace through strength. See, to me, peace through strength doesn't mean war.
There's a whole lot of
like,
what did Dave Smith say? There's a whole lot of strength, but there ain't much peace.
Yeah, when do we get the peace part? Right? Like when does the peace part come out of the peace through strength? And the goalposts were moving, Corey,
dude,
hours after this started.
By the minute. Well, they started moving before this, and I'm so glad that we do this podcast, Dan, and our voices are recorded. And I believe we talked on this show like 4 weeks ago when Netanyahu all of a sudden started chirping about ballistic missiles. And what was the other thing he said? They can't have nukes and no ballistic missiles, and they have to stop funding Hezbollah. And I think we said on this show, well, watch. That's what America's going to say in about a week.
Yeah.
And it took 2.
Oh, yeah.
You know,
so you
Dan,
were wrong, Corey. Corey, you were wrong, you panicking.
We're
dirty panicking.
I'm gonna give one like a toss up, like half right, but we're essentially 2 for 3 when it came to calling wars.
Dude,
we
this
fucked
shit
up. We said Russia was not going to invade Ukraine, and they definitely did.
Well, we were a little bit.
But we
new
called
to this.
Venezuela. We called this.
We were a little bit new to this, and it's getting so much easier once you start seeing how the sausage is made. It's so simple to call this. Like I'm looking back, right? And Ron Paul is one of my, he's one of my heroes. I think I can say that because he's in his 90s, and I don't think he's going to backtrack on anything at this point. So I'm comfortable calling Ron Paul one of my heroes and an American hero. But like I was actually sitting around thinking about this and how much better we're getting at calling this stuff as we see how the sausage is made. And I'm going, I mean, Ron Paul's a smart guy, but I don't think he was like any sort of I say that like he's dead. He's not dead. It's not like that he's some geopolitical genius. He just paid attention better than anybody else, right? Like when you start paying attention and you start seeing how the sausage is made, this stuff is just, it's so easy to see it coming. You can't necessarily predict exactly when it's going to happen, but it's always a matter of when. It's not a matter of if. And all of the propaganda that's come out in the week since, there's, I already mentioned the war is peace. We're going to be greeted as liberators. We got to go save these Iranians. And then of course, right after the bombs drop, we get video after video. Who knows how many of them are real and who knows how many of them are AI, because that's another huge problem that we're running into.
I've never relied on Grok more than ever, which is weird to say.
And Grok gets shit wrong all the time, though. It gets dates wrong. It gets people in the videos wrong. It gets shit wrong all the time. But I think I probably saw 14 videos of Iranians dancing in the street and getting that same fucking propagandistic bullshit of, look, Iranians are celebrating this.
And it's the same video every time, and it's like maybe 30 people. And so I'll tell you what, there's also a ton of videos popping up of people fucking supporting the Ayatollah. And those numbers look a hell of a lot bigger. And here's the thing, Dan. The size of the Ayatollah thing, or the size of the people celebrating that the Ayatollah was killed, those can be flip-flopped. The country has 92 million fucking people in it.
Right.
That if you have 1 million people in the street, just compact in, it just looks like just a sea of heads.
It's a little over 1%.
With a wave, that's still just a little over 1% of the whole entire country.
And it's this idea that because Iranians are celebrating, and you can find real videos of them doing it, it's like saying that if President Trump were killed and you saw evil, and they would be evil because I don't fucking support that shit. You see horrible normie Democrats in the streets celebrating that their horrible tyrannical leader was killed as if it represents the entire nation. It's lazy propaganda.
I've only been on this earth for 36 years, and in all of the different countries that they've showed video of people celebrating Americans as liberators has always blown up in our face. Name one time in our life that it was the opposite.
Greeted as liberators. And
remember, they were doing it with Venezuela too.
Even if we are greeted as liberators to start with, what comes next? What do you do next?
You know what? You know what? Even if there were people there that were greeting us as liberators when we only bombed the Ayatollah's house in the beginning, they were probably like, yeah, no, we can get down with that. But then all of a sudden, their neighbor's apartment gets bombed. And then their school gets bombed and they lose their sister. And then their fucking house gets
bombed.
Happened,
by the way.
Which happened. And everyone's trying to twist it and say it was Iran, there's some photos out there showing and Iran's missiles failed all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of times they've had failed missiles, but it doesn't change the fact that America was still putting even if America's surgical strikes were landing where they were supposed to, and it was Iran's missiles, because of our preemptive strike, which is still bullshit in my eyes, was landing in the two buildings right next to the fucking school, and they tried to send a missile up to knock him down.
Yeah, it's almost like
it was one of their missiles. Well, why were they launching missiles?
Right. Even if it was an Iranian missile, I can't imagine why they might have launched that missile in the first place. Right. The propaganda just goes on and on. I mean, within hours, I was seeing, we had to do this because Iran tried to interfere in our 2020 and 2024 elections. They were the ones responsible for the attempt on President Trump's life.
So they helped Trump lose and then helped Trump win. Why is he upset? And the Russians are also interfering, and they helped Trump lose and win.
And you had JD Vance coming out to say this was one of the most egregious, saying we have to avoid overlearning the lessons from the Iraq War.
Dad, you can't overlearn.
Corey, you probably don't remember this, because I don't really either. We were still a little bit young in 2002, like we knew that it was going on and what was going on, but there was this idea of Vietnam syndrome that the federal government kept putting out there about how we can't look at this like it's Vietnam. We have to get over our Vietnam syndrome, and it's like we still have it. We still have it because we're still doing.
And you know what, Dan? You know what? We rightfully should have Vietnam syndrome. That should be a lesson, not a fucking standard operating procedure.
It was a disaster.
And
it's been everything's been everything's been.
I don't know. The thing said, say clip that, and it'll help you make AI clips.
We need Perplexity. So, and then the newest one I just saw was now we have to worry about Iranian sleeper cells in the United States. And I'm sitting there and I'm going, and I have to give credit to Kurt Metzger for this, because he's the one that tweeted it out, but I was thinking something similar. He just articulated it really, really well. So I'm going to friend of the show, Kurt Metzger. He tweeted out, so if we have to worry about Iranian sleeper cells in the United States, why has the federal government been spying on its own citizens for the last 30 years?
And not this. Yeah, right.
Were they just watching us jerk off?
Yeah, if we have to worry about sleeper cells, why was the Patriot Act instituted fucking 23 years ago?
That's the whole problem, Corey. The propagandists, their arguments just fold in on themselves, and you can see who the fake intellectuals are. You can see all of it.
And then the one guy actually went out, and then he's wearing a shirt. And I'm sorry, and I'm not putting a tinfoil hat on here to explicitly say this feels like a weird little psyop thing, because people did die. I don't want to get sued like Alex Jones for Sandy Hook or any of that shit. But the guy is wearing a shirt that says "I love Allah," or something like along those lines. It sure feels a hell of a lot like a fucking passport from a torched plane knocking down a building being found after the the building burned and the plane crashed.
Well, and
Said,
not to mention the
Saudi Arabia.
guy was from Senegal, and it's like, okay, so there are one of two scenarios here that could very well be true. And one of them, it looks like one of them probably is true. Sorry to sound like Candace Owens. I feel this is demonic. But when you look at everything that, like, the stuff the guy was wearing, the stuff the guy, where he was from, it could be a false flag. That's one possibility. But the other possibility is, and it's one of these two things, is that it's a blowback terrorist attack. It's a Ron Paulian blowback terrorist. It's one of those two things. And either way,
both are bad.
And both exactly, and both are whose fault?
America's.
It's the Iranians' fault.
The government. I'm not going to say America. The government. The
federal government's fault. That's exactly right. In this coalition's made up of a bunch of different people. It's shrinking, but it's Islamophobes. It's the No Nuke Brigade. It's the Israel Firsters, and then there are some actual revolutionaries involved in the sort of pro-Iran war propaganda machine. But
the Kurds?
Sure. But nobody can tell us what the real reason for this conflict is. They keep going back and forth. They say one thing one day. You got the video of Rubio saying we had to do it or Israel was going to do it. And then he walked it back the next day. Do you have that video?
Yeah, play the one. Oh, geez. They're all fucked up now. Rubio, Israel, the one that I shared. It's going to be the last one. Because it shows the flip-flop that he did when he recanted his statement.
And he comes back the next day and tries to tell us we didn't see and hear what we just heard 24 hours prior. Like, that's the whole thing. Is like,
and he gets caught in it because he fucking says, well, didn't you hear what I said yesterday? And the reporter goes, yeah, I'm the one who asked the question.
We should let everybody know that Bell is reporting to us from war-torn Tehran right now, and he's using a dial-up internet.
Well, I see bomb building. It's either Tehran or Tel Aviv or Qatar or Saudi Arabia or Oman or what was it? Bahrain.
Daddy, you're my daddy.
Or Detroit. So
how much bombing going on there? Just a lot of
dilapidated. My son knows the word dilapidated because a lot of times when we go down to the city, we don't take 75. We'll take like Mound and then cut across. Or
careful, you might turn into a politician. Just big words.
Look at that old building, and I said, "Well, son, buildings just because they're old doesn't mean they're bad. Sometimes, just like there's old cars that look really good, but then there's old cars that look bad. The word for that is dilapidated.
There's a lot of old people that are definitely bad.
They're dilapidated.
Go ahead and roll it, Bell. Marco Rubio, you're Secretary of State, ladies and gentlemen.
Yesterday, you told us that Israel was going to strike Iran, and that's why we needed to get involved. Today, the president said that Iran was going to get.
Yeah, your statement is false. So that's not what I was asked. Very
6 frames a minute.
Yes,
That's okay.
Wait a minute.
There absolutely was an imminent threat, and the imminent threat was that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that we knew that if Iran was attacked, and we believed they would be attacked, that they would immediately come after us. Were you the one that, because somebody asked me a question, said, did we go in because of Israel? And I said, you were asking me that, you from that follow-up. And I said, no, I told you this had to happen anyway. The president made a decision, and the decision he made was that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ballistic missile program, that Iran was not going to be allowed to hide behind its ability to conduct these attacks. That decision had been made. The president systematically made a decision to systematically destroy this terroristic capability that they had, and we carried that out. I was very clear in that answer. This was a question of timing, of why this had to happen as a joint operation, not the question of the intent.
Peekaboo.
I don't know, man.
Peekaboo.
Yeah. The day before he goes, well, Israel was going to attack, so we had to attack first to protect our soldiers at their bases.
their entire narrative is just caving. It just caves in on itself.
And it's probably Sagar that said this, but it's like Israel is a goddamn client state. Not to diminish a sovereign nation, but their existence is based on our relationship. They don't get to tell us what to do.
Oh, it goes deeper than a client state. They're our fat welfare mom. Let's be realistic about what they actually are.
Yeah, they don't get to tell us what to do.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime. I believe you just...
And I'm not saying that in an vindictive way that they deserve to just, like, not the argument of, well, do they have a right to exist? They have, like, it's been 70 some goddamn years at this point, pretty much, almost 80. They have their right. Like, they're a sovereign nation, without getting into the Palestine-Israel thing. I'm not saying that those people don't deserve their little safe space.
We know what you really mean. Jesus Christ, Alex Jones.
Yeah, come on, Alex. But what I'm saying
I never sucked any ding-dongs.
That, let's say they have their right to exist. Let's say they have their right to be a sovereign nation with their own borders to protect for their own people. That doesn't give them the right to tell a whole different nation what the fuck to do.
It does if you blackmail them.
Oh, now we're talking about tinfoil hat shit.
Nah, we're not. Are we?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe like it's in the room. It's in the room with us, but it's not on. Yeah, because look, not a lot of people are talking about Epstein. No, actually, a lot of people are still talking about Epstein.
Oh, it's not going away. It's just been put on the back burner for a little while. And listen, we all know why this was done. That's the whole thing is like they really think this is going to work. And they've got all of their minions, out on their little podcasts. And I shouldn't throw stones living in a glass house like that. But and their
little podcast.
And their little Twitter brigade, and I'm sure I shouldn't say little, because there's probably a city's worth of people under fucking Washington D.C. somewhere just hammering people with tweets calling them anti-Semites and un-American. I wouldn't be shocked if that were the case. I mean, look at our goddamn what's the word I'm looking for? Our goddamn security state. But they've made it obvious. Trump slipped up and said something about how it was for Israel. We have Rubio right there. And
Johnson, Speaker of the House, said it.
Yeah, Mike Johnson said it. And then you have former CIA man John Kiriakou. I'm just going to go ahead and play this because I have it pulled up and we weren't sure how Bell's computer was going to work. But then we have former CIA man John Kiriakou kind of spelling it out a little bit here as well.
The reason, though, I'm told, that Donald Trump decided to bomb Iran was that the Israelis said, for the first time, if you don't bomb Iran to take out these deep bunkers, we're going to use nuclear weapons.
This was in June back in 2025.
Sure. Yeah. I didn't say that.
So Trump said bombing Iran might actually save us from the start of World War III if it keeps the Israelis from using nuclear weapons.
So according to your source, the Israelis told the president of the United States that if he did not use the United States military power to bomb the nuclear facilities in Iran, Israel, acting on its own, would use nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Do you see why there's a problem with that statement, John?
Yeah.
Because they've never admitted that they've had them.
That's right.
So you're telling me that they just admitted to the president of the United States that they have nuclear weapons and we still do not have them in the IAEA treaty.
I mean, if Israeli nuclear whistleblowers are to be believed, yeah, they've had them. They started working on them in the 50s. The reason.
So you're right, Corey. That was from back right after the 12-day war. But
that's John Kiriakou or whatever. How do you say his name?
John Kiriakou, and like it's still up. Like if they said that, if he's right, John Kiriakou.
I know.
If he's right, and that applied back in June for the 12-day war, why would it not still apply today? Especially when you have Marco Rubio saying what he said. Well, we believe they were going to be attacked. Like, if this was a situation where Trump goes in and bombs Iran because he doesn't want the Israelis to use a nuke, okay, I kind of feel like you have to say that because, number one, it actually makes Trump look a little bit better, doesn't it? Because it essentially saved the world from whatever could happen if a nuclear bomb is dropped somewhere. To me, that's kind of a good look.
I don't know. I'm a bit of a big mouth. I feel like I would just immediately go to the bully pulpit. Like, this is what I'm dealing with, folks.
If you were Trump?
Yeah, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what's going on right now. But of course, I also don't have my name mentioned thousands and thousands of times in a fucking child sex trafficking ring either. So,
yeah, that we can't, allegedly.
Well, it's as allegedly as this is.
Correct. Yeah. He could have been wrong. His source could have been wrong. All these things are possible. But like, I don't know. It seems like most of the rhetoric is surrounded behind how evil and horrible the Iranian regime is. And if that's the place you're going, then there's a retort to that as well. There's a retort to all of the reasons for starting this war, and very, very simple ones. And the retort to the evil, we gotta take out the evil Iranian regime, is just the simple philosophical idea that when you decide that you want to run around the globe and quote unquote stamp out evil, it's a losing game. Because why? Because there's always more evil around the next corner. It's an absolutely endless game of whack-a-mole. And
That's how the Roman Empire fell.
100%. And it's, well, yeah.
I mean, it's a part of it, right? They expanded it. They weren't expanding. They felt like they were expanding out of necessity because they'd have an enemy on their border. So they would take out that enemy and they'd want to control that area to make sure that enemy wasn't a problem anymore. But as soon as they did that, the enemy that was fighting with them, with your enemy you just vanquish, who was fighting with you and then fighting with their other enemy, is now your enemy.
And no, Corey, that actually that applies because you don't have to go any further than asking former Israeli Prime Minister Naftali Bennett, who just a few days ago, and you can look this up, we can't allow Turkey to become the new Iran. That's what he said.
No, I'm sure. I think you got that wrong. He said Turkey is the new Iran.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's even worse.
Erdogan is sophisticated, and he goes on in this whole spiel about it. But yeah. So now Turkey's the next enemy. A NATO member. Israel's not even in NATO. And Turkey and America are both in NATO. So let's see how that plays out. I don't know.
Do you see
that might be in the nail of the coffin? If America continues to be Israel's bitch, that might be the final nail in the coffin for NATO.
Yeah, and what's funny is I actually have no issue with the United States leaving.
Not when it's at the behest of Israel.
Right. This isn't the reason
that might
I want
be a part of their
NATO.
plan for greater Israel. I mean, none of this stuff is conspiracy anymore at this point, right? There's that whole spiel of greater Israel, and you see it on the patches of some of the IDF soldiers of an Israel that's like 10 times the size of Israel right now, and it includes parts of Saudi Arabia and Iran and Iraq and I think even Turkey.
They're just never going to stop running around the globe looking for evildoers to vanquish. And I say evildoers in quotes because that shit is obviously relative. But so what's next? So what's next for this this campaign? I think again, once you see how the sausage is made, you start being able to predict this stuff pretty well. So what are we going to do next?
And we hope our predictions are wrong.
Well, yeah, but they won't be. I think I might have just stuck my foot in my mouth.
I made bets with people that I said I'll gladly pay them if I'm wrong.
What's going to happen next? And that's fair. What's going to happen next is you're going to get manufactured victories. We've already seen that, right? reasons.
Oh,
to,
I'm sorry. You mean like India inviting the world to a Navy parade, and then Iran showing up with their ship in America at the last minute going, oh no, we're not coming to that. And then sitting in international waters outside of Sri Lanka to when the unarmed Iranian ship from that parade was on its way back to Iran gets fucking torpedoed.
Mm-hmm.
That's a victory, I guess.
Yeah, reasons to fly the mission accomplished flag. The first one was the death of the Ayatollah, and I'm gonna and like this isn't a victory, right? Because one thing that we've seen, over and over again with regards to Iran is the people that want to destroy Iran are they talk out of both sides of their mouth, right? It's part of what the propaganda brings you. Out of one side of their mouth, they'll say things like, they're a terrible, poor, nothing third world nation, and then out of the other side of their mouth, they'll say that they're the most dangerous threat to the world. And it's like, which is it? It obviously can't be both. So that's
like when people
where,
talk about Trump, when liberals talk about Trump,
of course, which is
he's
again
a buffoon,
why,
but also he's a conniving mastermind behind this whole Project 2025.
which is just
Like, well,
another reason why supporting the war with Iran is woke and gay. So you're gonna get them. You're gonna get the manufactured. You're gonna get the manufactured victories. You've already had a few of them, but what I was saying about the Ayatollah is this: Iran is not Iraq. It's not Afghanistan. This is a country that has a very sophisticated political grounding. I don't know how many people realize that Iran actually has a constitution.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like our constitution, but they do have a constitution. They have mechanisms in place for their leadership to be taken out.
Yeah, it's not a figurehead at the top like a regular communist society.
It's
like right now in America, if the entire government got wiped out, we could wake up tomorrow and be like, all right, I guess we're voting. Like, we got to just put new people in power. The framework is there.
Right. So, like, this idea that you're going, especially, I don't know how many people you've heard say this, Corey, but a ton of people have said it. And to my knowledge, it's true. You're not going to invoke regime change, which, again, is another one of those moving goalposts with regards to this war. First, it's nukes, then it's ballistic missiles, then it's regime change, then it's back to nukes. Then, what I mean?
So what did it do? It went nukes, and then ballistic missiles, and then Navy, or no, then Hezbollah, and then Navy, and then regime change, and then, well, Israel was gonna,
right, and back and forth, and back and
Trump
forth,
telling, and then now
it depends on
Trump actually made Israel do it.
Yeah, and it depends on which member.
The beginning of it, because Trump was also saying their nuclear fucking weapons are gone. The messaging, you're all just terrible.
Well, and Corey, it depends on which member of the administration you're asking on which day, which reason is the accurate one. Yeah, exactly. And so the idea that you're going to get regime change through attacking through the air that's never been done before. And
never ever.
And it's not going to get done in a country like Iran that actually has a pretty sophisticated political system. So what they're saying, so we're meant to believe that there are no ground troops going in. And look, Trump could still make that decision and decide, like, that's the last line. I'm not letting that happen. That's very, very possible. But the reason you have to believe that we're being led to believe that this is something that's going to happen is that you first start to get arming of the insurgents, right? Because that's never been done before. That's been done all the time. In every single one of these things, we go in, we arm some insurgents. I mean, the Mujahideen comes to mind to fight off the
Kurds come to mind, who we're using now in Syria. That was going on, and then all of a sudden, that's the thing, right? Like we arm the insurgents, and then it's not going so well. So then, and this happened in Ukraine too.
Mm-hmm.
You arm the, like, I'm not calling the Ukrainian soldiers insurgents, but you arm the proxy. We'll use the word proxy.
Sure.
You arm the proxy. Things aren't going as well. We're not getting our return on investment for the amount of money we're spending on this proxy to do what we want. So then the CIA is there. And then it's still not going going the best that it possibly can. So we want to push it a little bit more. So it's not American soldiers, but it's independent contractors. And then, God forbid, the wrong one gets killed or captured. It accelerates it when they're captured, because then we got to send in SEAL Team 6 to save them. And then to reinforce that, to make sure everything is safe, is there's boots on the ground from the Army or the Marines.
And then
we see it all the goddamn time.
It's happened almost every time.
Every time. That's
At
how
least, I shouldn't say,
you get your
I shouldn't
foot
say
in the
it-
door. The American government gets their foot in the door, and then they manufacture consent along the entire way, and then all of a sudden there's a push to
We
just
shouldn't
get
say it
this done.
happens-
We'll be out in a month.
We shouldn't say it happens every time, because what that means is it happens every time when ground troops actually do hit.
And you
hit
know
the
what?
ground.
And Dan, if we're wrong on this, it's the first time we're wrong about this type of scenario unfolding in our life. It's like, I hope I'm wrong. I hope that tomorrow there's a ceasefire. I hope so. I hope I lose the bets I made.
Today we're just panicking, Scory. We're just panicking.
I'll tell people I'm a panicking. Like, well, no, here's the thing is, like, we were being called panicins after the 12-day war. And everyone's like, oh, it only lasted 12 days. It's done. And it's like, for now.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think it's done? It's not done. It
BB
ain't
won't
over.
let it be done. BB won't
It
let
ain't
it
over.
be done. So
and then here we are 6 months later, and now we're completely obliterating the country.
Shall we go
And
over
then
what
other
happens
countries are
after
getting
that?
obliterated, and gas is going up. Supply chains are going to be fucked with. I bet you that fucking copper and anything like that's going to be through the fucking roof. Anything simple like that that's used to make computer chips for bombs that are just going to be blown up. Where are all these natural resources going?
Shall we go over
into the ground?
These are all things.
Into a bunker.
Plus the possibility of American deaths, which will take place if you put boots on the ground.
We're averaging one death a day right now, Dan.
No, that's one too many.
It's 6 too many.
So I just mean one per day too many. So what happens after that? So what? I mean, your best case scenario, because I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, even if you put boots on the ground in Iran, that you're just going to be able to waltz right into Tehran like you did in Baghdad.
After creating 1 million terrorists because you killed half their family.
Yeah. Yeah. Blowback's not a real thing. Even if you're able to do that, you're able to waltz into Iran or into Tehran. You're able to remove the current government of Iran. You're able to either, as Trump says, allow the Iranian people to pick their own leader, or you install one. How do you know that this leader doesn't turn? Because it seems like it always happens.
Well,
they
don't
all
even know
they
what
all
leader
end up,
they're going to take now, Dan, because
there's no
Trump
plan.
Came out and said, Trump came out and recently and said, oh, well, some of the people that we planned on having ended up getting killed in some of our bombing. It's just all happening so quick. And I'll tell you what.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
Thanks, Trump.
So what happens? Iran inevitably either becomes just another tyrannical state, maybe not an Islamic tyrannical state like it allegedly is today.
Oh,
but,
so you're saying the best case scenario is they become Libya?
Well, that's the other option. They become a completely failed state. And then the interesting part that comes out of that is Jack Posobiec already smartly tweeted this out, where he said, no refugees. You're going to have refugees. You're going to have
Europe's about to
some
get
point.
fucked.
at some point a Democrat's going to win the presidency, and it seems like every single time we go into a country and blow it up and fucking turn it into a failed state, we then bring their refugees in. Eventually,
And
a
then the
Democrat will
Democrats
win.
show up, bring all the refugees here, and then the Republicans get back in power, and they talk shit about them for doing it.
Right. So there's my point, Corey. All of this talk about how from folks on the right that still support Trump and still support this war, all this talk about liberating the Iranian people. Give it 10 years. Give it 10 years. Let's see if you're still in favor of the Iranian people when you're, accusing them of, welfare fraud or something somewhere in the United States. Let's see how you feel about them then. It's the same game. It's the same game over and over and over and over again. There are certain nuances that change, sure, but the basics are always the same. We go in, we blow up a country, we turn it into either another tyrannical nation or we turn it into a failed state. Refugees leave, they flood Europe, they flood the United States, and then we have to talk about another fucking immigration crisis again.
And more sleeper cells.
Yeah. And then we go, why do they keep trying to blow us up? Why do they hate us so much?
Because of our freedom, Dan.
I mean, dude, this might be this could be a controversial thing to say, but I think it's important for the United States to actually, from a war perspective, to get punched in the mouth a little bit. Maybe that makes me treasonous. I don't care. I'm not saying I want the United States to fail. I'm not saying I want my nation to fall. What I'm saying is I want my nation.
You're not saying you want soldiers to die. It's just you want a political blunder that's going to change the moral compass of America.
I just want the United States to fail as the global hegemon. I'm sick of it because Corey, I think that's the only way we're going to stop being the global hegemon is to do something like this and fail because we're not going to.
Even with this, I still have, and all the noise and everything, I still have, without any sort of crazy political blunder, I still have a positive outlook on America. I think it takes a second to turn, like a really, really, really fucking big ship can't turn on a dime, right? Jasmine Crockett just lost her job. So did two very establishment candidates.
So did who's that broad in Maine, Susan Collins. She lost a Graham Plattner. Like, listen, I get it.
There's a changing of the guard happening. I don't think we need like soldiers' lives being lost or anything like that. But like it's the last. It's not even the last gasp dying light of an empire. Because
let me be clear. That's not what I'm rooting for. I'm not saying I want our soldiers to be thrown into a spot and lose, but what I would like to see and die. But what I would like to see is military brass going, we can't win this. Mr. President, let's not do this again. And really be humbled from the just from the perspective of like the finally having the recognition that we can't win this thing.
Right. The last gasp of an evening dying light.
Or at least we can't win this thing in the way that we always hope we can and never do.
Hey, Bell, I don't even know if in the Iran war, or I know the Iran war, they voted on war, or like in any of the other wars, was there even a vote about the War Powers Act being instituted or being negated over like something that the government saw as unconstitutional? There probably always was. It was probably like Ron Paul or Rand Paul or Bernie Sanders. And I'm guessing those votes are probably like 2 or 3 to like 97, 98. The War Powers Act recently almost actually got rescinded. Because that's what they were doing. I believe they were overturning the War Powers Act, right? Like they wanted to take it towards Congress.
What they always do is they always do it for each individual conflict. So this one was strictly over Iran.
Right. But it was like a 47 to 53 vote or 48 to 52. Like it was a close one. And even though it fucking lost, I think it was still one of the closest ones you've seen in our lifetimes.
It was along party lines. Fetterman switched and Rand Paul. voted against it, and John Fetterman voted for it. Those were the only two. So it was essentially along party lines, as if we should be surprised by that. What do you got, Bill?
The only time it was ever used was in 1993, a couple times from 1993 through 2002 about Marines staying in Lebanon. They voted against it. And in Libya in 2011, because Obama tried to stay there and they said no. They also
Where at?
In Libya.
Oh,
they
Libya.
They also use it in Syria 2 times in 2012, 2017, twice in Yemen, 2018, 2019.
And they all failed.
Iran in 2020, which is interesting.
That's when Trump bombed Soleimani, right?
Yeah, and that was Bernie Sanders voted against it, and he co-sponsored in Ro Khanna.
I want to see a Massey Ro Khanna ticket.
That'd be dope, dude.
Sure,
that might be the only ticket that can save the nation. Well, that's interesting. If there were a scenario where Thomas Massey were elected president, that's when you would know that the president doesn't really run the country. If Massey gets in there and they set him down and talk about how he's going to get JFK'd if he doesn't play ball, and then he starts playing ball. If Tommy Massey, if he starts playing ball,
old Tommy boy,
then you know something's up. But if you vote for Thomas Massey, it probably means you hate America or something like that.
Yeah, he's all of a sudden now. What'd you say?
I'll get accused of it for what I said about 5 minutes ago.
Oh yeah, now all of a sudden he's a rhino and he's a cuck and all of this wild shit.
He is kind of a rhino. He's not, I mean, like, and I mean that as like a compliment.
Is it a term of endearment, like calling your wife your old lady?
Yeah, it's like he really is kind of a Republican in name only. Because he's, country over party. What an asshole. Yeah. Turkey next. What else did I have in my my Iran war notes here? I don't think I had much else. I'm sure we'll be talking about it quite a lot. Oh, I have a few other things. You already have oil going to 100, like already. And here's what's fun about that. And I mean fun in a morbid way. The EU is already saying that they might need to turn to, drum roll please, Russia for natural gas and energy.
Yep.
You can't make this shit up. Hegseth being a clown on The Objective. I think I can play that video. I don't know how much we talked about that. As soon as I figure out where I put it.
What else we got?
Oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, here's another thing I had. You want to go over all of the things? This is a list of like 40 or 50 different things that kind of explain why Iran is not a threat. And this was posted on the Murray Rothbard account on Twitter. Murray's been dead for many, many years. I don't think he ever actually saw Twitter. But if you need to give reasons for why Iran is not a threat and that it's all ridiculous propaganda, let me just give you a few. Iran hasn't stolen any of our freedoms. Iran didn't run up $38 trillion in national debt and destroy our standard of living. Iran didn't pass the Patriot Act to spy on Americans. Iran didn't pass the income tax. Iran didn't establish the IRS. Iran didn't hand over full control of the U.S. monetary policy to a private banking cartel with the Federal Reserve Act in 1913. Iran didn't force the NIH to fund gain-of-function research in the Wuhan lab. Iran didn't lock down American cities, businesses, and schools. Iran didn't pass experimental and deadly mRNA vaccine mandates. Iran didn't print $7 trillion during the COVID pandemic and destroy the American economy. Iran isn't hosting drag queen story hour in our elementary schools and libraries. Iran isn't promoting destructive, life-altering transgender surgeries. Iran isn't flooding American airwaves with pharmaceutical products. Iran isn't trying to block out the sun or spraying harmful chemicals all over our skies. Iran isn't spraying all of our crops with cancer-causing pesticides. Iran didn't give glyphosate manufacturers immunity from poisoning Americans, even though, the head of our health ministry, as I call it now, essentially campaigned for that office based on that. Iran didn't spend $8 trillion invading Iraq and Afghanistan, only to hand them back to the Taliban after the government collapsed in 3 days following 20 years of occupation. Iran didn't hold on, that one's kind of a stupid one. Iran didn't open America's borders. Iran didn't start a race to war by spreading hate crime hoaxes all over our cable news and social media networks. Iran isn't hiding the Epstein documents. Iran isn't forcing Americans to pass hate speech laws and tear down the First Amendment. Iran has never attacked the United States on American soil. Iran didn't authorize Operation Fast and Furious to allow weapons to be illegally purchased and taken back to Mexico, only to be used to kill us and our border patrol agents. Iran didn't overthrow Gaddafi and destroy the country of Libya, where now you have modern-day slave markets. Iran didn't hide contents of Anthony. Well, I love this one. Iran didn't hide the contents of Anthony Weiner's laptop with over 340,000 emails from Hillary Clinton, including files labeled "Crimes Against Children." Iran didn't use Americans' intelligence agencies, FISA court, media organizations, or political class to frame Trump for treason. Iran didn't draw up plans to assassinate Julian Assange for exposing U.S. war crimes in the Middle East, and there are only a couple more. Iran didn't exile Edward Snowden for revealing the widespread illegal surveillance being conducted on American citizens. And finally, Iran didn't assassinate JFK, RFK, or Charlie Kirk, although I think some people might claim that they did. The U.S. government, guys, the U.S. government did all of those things. And so when I sit here and I say that, and Corey says this as well, hating your government is not hating your country. In fact, most of the time, hating your government is loving your country about as much as you possibly can.
It's the most patriotic thing. That's why I'm wearing an American flag t-shirt here during an episode where we're dog shitting on the current administration for dragging us into another war, because this is not what the founding fathers intended for the idea of what America was.
You want to play Pete Hegseth?
Yeah, go ahead. Play old Petey.
Oh, what a clown. What a clown.
I understand, to your point here, that you don't want to broadcast everything for our adversaries to hear, but the American people also want to know what they're sending their men and women to war for. Is there a concern of this spiraling into a longer war? And then one for the chairman when you're done.
Did you not hear my remarks? I mean, we're ensuring the mission gets
We need that soundbite.
But we're very clear-eyed, as the president has been, unlike other presidents, about the foolish policies of the past that recklessly pulled us in to things that were not tethered to actual clear objectives. So we know we have plans, we have generals, we have chairmen, we have commanders, CENTCOM commanders, Admiral Cooper, who's executing very deliberately to ensure outcomes that I laid out are accomplished. But we would never, in front of a press pool, lay out how long that may take.
It's so interesting that you say that, Pete. So interesting that you say that, Pete, because he sits there and he talks about how previous administrations had, they were just going in there willy-nilly. They had no clear objectives when they did these things, when they did these regime changes. But your own goddamn boss, brother, can't decide what the objective is with this war. Sometimes it's about regime change. Others say it's about eliminating nukes. Others say it's about ballistic missiles. Corey and I have gone over all of what the objectives of this are on and off, depending on the hour and depending on who the last person to talk to Donald Trump was. But we all know that the objective is the same. It was the same as it was then, 2002 and before. It's the same now. And it don't have anything to do with what's good for the United States. You know what it's for.
There's the most frustrating thing about this is the fact that the night before, the guy from Oman, he was the mediator between the two. He was the mediator between this whole war of trying to create a negotiation between Iran and America to avoid what's happening right now. And this is the second goddamn time that America, in the midst of negotiations with Iran, bombed them.
Mm-hmm.
What does that do for America's word? It's not about right now in this little short-term victory that we get. This could be as successful as shit. What about talks later with North Korea? What about talks with China about Taiwan? Now, what about talks with Russia and Ukraine? What about talks with Turkey and in Israel when that shit pops off? What about the talks with Afghanistan and Pakistan? What about talks in Yemen? What about talks in Libya? What about talks with Somalia and Sudan? Our shit has gone to the gutter. And so I posted this like the day of that war popped off. And it accompanied with it is the Oman's foreign minister who was on Face the Nation the night before the bombings went off. And he was stating all the things Israel was willing to, or not Israel, Iran was capitulating to with the deal that they had. And so I said a short 20 hours ago, the key mediator between U.S. and Iran was hopeful with the trajectory of the peace talks that included removing stockpiles, not enriching uranium, allowing international inspectors, and open the conversation about ballistic missiles. And they also said that they were going to turn any uranium that they had into irreversible fuel. Talks were supposed to continue this Monday, last Monday. This was never even considered under Obama, and Trump could have achieved what every other president could not. All the way back to, who was it, Carter? When the Iranian Revolution happened. These are conversations that present from Carter to Reagan to Bush to Clinton to Bush to Obama to Trump to Biden to Trump all tried to do. And it was never done. And Trump had that chance. And in the midst of that conversation, he fucking bombed the country who's having the negotiations. Not for the first time in the last year. The second.
And Corey,
instead he tainted America's credibility with a smile and talks as another sovereign nation's face to another sovereign nation's face with a knife in their back as they walked away in optimism. This is the second time in a year he's done this. How is any other country to trust America's word after these actions? Have we devolved to might makes right and fuck you if you disagree? Is blatant hegemony our diplomatic strategy now? What's the lifespan of that? Like, for real. Like, you can sit here and you could win, you could win, you could win. I've been playing Civilization again recently, Civ 7. And you could sit there in that game in the beginning and you could sit there and get wrapped up in these two little wars with these two other little nations, and you could sit there and beat the shit out of them. And you might even win after 50 or 60 turns, which is like 50 or 60 years, right? You might even win and take those out. But while you're stuck in that war, the rest of the entire fucking map is all working together and creating trade routes and creating allyships. And they're doing everything they can together. And they're all of a sudden way further ahead of you in the game than you ever are. And I don't mean to trivialize geopolitics, but essentially that's what it fucking is. And I almost feel like you have to explain what it feels like to people. No regime change wars. Am I right? Face it. Trump is a puppet. We're a foreign nation. Lobbyists and military-industrial complex are the tail wagging the dog, who under their guidance are using the Constitution as toilet paper, implementing mass surveillance, communist policy, and selling out the American people as fodder, all to enrich the elites. Or is this just a distraction from the Epstein Files? The Omani foreign minister, Badir bin Hamad al-Busaidi. Why do they make their name so goddamn complicated?
I don't know, man. I'll ask my token Muslim buddy.
A key mediator in the U.S.-Iran nuclear talks tells Face the Nation moderator Margaret Brennan that he's confident a peace deal is within our reach between the U.S. and Iran as negotiators meet over Tehran's nuclear program. He also said, I don't think any alternative to diplomacy is going to solve this problem. Abu Saideh met with Vice President J.D. Vance in Washington, D.C. on Friday. So the fucking mediator walked away on Friday night optimistic about the talks continuing that Monday after the weekend to fucking to actually fit a fucking square peg into a round hole, which is damn near impossible, and make it happen. U.S. inspectors, no nuclear stock trade, or no nuclear stockpiles, I mean. No nuclear enrichment. Ballistic missiles, we'll talk about it. Let's deal with the shit before that. And over the weekend, this shit happens, and then now Hegseth and the drum beats of war are happening, and it's absolutely insane.
I mean, all it does is tells any other nation,
White
but
knives in the
particularly
house.
ones. What's up, dude? All it does is tells other nations, really any nation, but particularly the ones that maybe we're on a little bit on the rocks with, right? That's geopolitics. I get that. You're not always best friends with everybody that you're negotiating with, but like all it does is say, oh, the United States wants to negotiate. Oh, it just means they're going to bomb us. That's what that says. That's what that says to the rest of the world. Why should we negotiate with you? If you're just going to bomb us the next day or the same day that we have these discussions.
Yep.
But we're the good guys and they're the bad guys, and the bad guys gotta lose. The Orwellianism is really interesting in this whole thing too, Corey, because the memory holing, dude. So I can't tell you how many times, and this is like the propaganda army from either our federal government or Israel's government. I don't really know where these people come from. I don't really care. It's all the same to me. But I can't tell you how many times I have been on X since this war started. And I have seen things like, and it's usually somebody with like an AI picture as their profile picture. Seen things like Iran has been at war with the United States since 1979. And just this phrase, everybody's repeating it, and it's absolutely out of nowhere, and it's all over the place. Like this, they've been at war with us.
They're just talking heads because Trump said it. For 47 years, we've been at war with Iran.
Really?
And no president had the gall to just finally end it like I do.
Can I ask why, like, nobody ever ran their campaign on ending this endless war with Iran? Now, do you ever remember a president at least since we've been a voting age? So, I mean, we're only talking about like 3 or 4 guys here, but like, has anybody that you can remember even since a kid running?
No, but I remember one
Iran
explicitly campaigning on not doing a war with Iran, and then while he wasn't president, and his predecessor was, and he was saying that his predecessor was going to start a war with Iran because his poll numbers were garbage. I remember that.
Oh yeah, there's people pulling old tweets from Trump all the time, talking about how Obama couldn't negotiate and all this stuff, and not skilled, I think was a phrase that he used. But like, this is totally
negotiator.
This is like all of that propaganda is like, dude, it's literally Oceania being at war with what are the 2 countries that they keep flipping back and forth from in 1984? Yeah, Eurasia, and then they aren't at war with Eurasia, and they're at war with the other country. Like,
and they were never at war with Eurasia.
They were just bombing their own people. That's what this is. That's what this is.
It was Eurasia and
I can't remember the other one.
I can't remember the other one either. But remember, because then the war would flip, and they talked about how like, we're not at war with Eurasia anymore. We're at war with this country, and we were never at war with Eurasia. Eurasia has always been our ally.
And that's what's happening now on Twitter. Like, there's just this unbelievable memory holing of like, oh yeah, we've always been at war with Iran. We've been at war with Iran since 1979. Like, oh shit, where was I?
Yeah, what?
I wasn't. I don't know where I was for that.
sorry,
for
what?
that long, arduous war with Iran
because they
since
bombed a ship
1979.
once. Well, some of our allies have done that too.
Yeah. In fact, some of our allies have bombed our own ships. I won't say which one.
It's right on the tip of my tongue.
But I think you know. And like, it's all just reverted to
Russia stole our nuclear secrets. Oh,
Yeah, 'cause
another
we
country did
didn't.
that.
In fact, what you talking about Pollard? And about how and he was just welcomed back with open arms.
Yeah. When Pollard stole nuclear secrets from us for
I don't know if it was it nuclear secrets? I don't know what it was, but it was something. It was some. My memory's slipping on what it actually was, but it was our intelligence
of
and
how to make a nuclear bomb.
And he's beloved now. And for some reason, Edward Snowden is exiled.
I'm glad you said it. I was going to say Edward Snowden as well.
And Julian Assange is basically Julian Assange, for all intents and purposes, is basically just a dead man. Honestly, like he's still alive, he's still with us, but they sucked every piece of life out of that man. You haven't heard from him since he's gotten out of prison, and yet I don't think he will.
They made him sit
and that's
there
fine.
They made him
I don't
fucking
blame
sit
him.
there in the Ecuadorian embassy for a decade.
And then they sat him in a prison cell, and I don't blame him. Like, he did his work. Go live your life, Julian. Nobody need, do what you got to do. I understand. You did enough, brother. I hope he's listening. Friend of the show, Julian Assange. And then the other wonderful piece of horrible propaganda. Wonderful piece of horrible propaganda. Yeah, those are the words I just said. Is the character assassinations, right? We talked a little bit about what they're saying about Tucker, what they're saying about Megyn Kelly, what they're saying about Dave Smith and others, which is basically just, you're a kook and you hate America. Actually sounded like Tucker there. But the other thing is, like, let's just character assassinate anybody that is essentially protesting this war. And we saw it, was this last night, where Marine Brian McGinnis had his arm broken by a United States Senator. Bell, go ahead and pull the video up. I'm sure a lot of people have seen this already. But the character assassinations started within minutes of this video being posted. What do you have?
Yeah.
You have moron jigsaw-looking bitches like fucking Laura
Loomer. I love how I knew who you were talking about when you said jigsaw-looking bitches.
So she comes out and posts a picture of this guy with a woman
You
in a
see her
hijab.
fucking adding fucking Tucker Carlson. I showed Donald Trump all your tweets, every single one.
Well, and that's the thing, dude. Like, we're at war, and fucking Donald Trump has Laura fucking Loomer in the Oval Office. Like, is she advising him on this? I don't know, but
Yeah.
she character assassinated this guy almost right away. She found a picture of him with a woman that appears to be wearing a hijab, claiming that this is his wife. And honestly, I haven't dug into it to know if this woman really is his wife. I don't care, because it doesn't fucking matter. But it's always
it's
about
the imagery.
Like, who you support, right? This man could be a radical, pro-Palestinian. Maybe he is that. I don't even know. I don't really give a shit. It's about the messaging, and it's about the fact, and maybe he did plan this. Maybe he planned this to make it look like something that is, I guess, propagandistic for the anti-war side. Maybe this was all a ruse. It was all a plan. But this man is a combat veteran who puts on his fucking uniform and runs into a was it a Senate committee hearing or a House committee? I don't know, remember what the hell it was, and basically says we don't want to fight a war for Israel. I don't really care what his motives are, because his message is 100% correct.
Yeah.
And if this is a man that is doing this for performative purposes, which That's absolutely possible. Everybody, we see that kind of shit all the time. What happened was he got the better of you because you're the one that flipped your shit, decided to try to tackle a fucking U.S. Marine and throw him out of this committee hearing and break his arm in the process. So whatever
they broke his arm and they got his hand stuck in a door.
Yeah, whatever quote unquote performative message he was trying to propagandize the anti-war people with, it worked. It worked, and you're the ones who look like the asshole. Go ahead and roll it, Bell. Unless you got something else you want to add to that, Corey.
No, the only thing I'll add to this is just an American veteran telling his representatives not to go to war
for Israel,
and then cops for Israel, and then the cops just manhandling him, and he gets his arm fucking broken. And it's just
support our troops. Am I right?
Not these troops, obviously.
Yeah, these are the bad guys. Go ahead and roll it, Bell.
We're the good guys, and they're the bad guys.
We're the good guys, and they're the bad guys. Go ahead and roll it, Bell.
Out! No one wants to fight for Israel!
His hand! Oh! His hand!
Sir. Let go of your hand. Let go of the door. Only go of the door. The senator broke his hand. A sitting U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine.
It wasn't even his hand; it was his arm.
Your Senate. Arm stuck in the door. Okay, sir. A U.S. senator just broke the hand of a Marine. Hand stuck. A U.S. senator just broke
if you hear the voice of the girl in the background yelling, that's the video that I saw. And then all of the people that are sitting there, like in the front that are part of the hearing, they didn't even turn around. And that's when she's like, "You guys are robots."
Everybody sit down, please. Sit down, please. Everybody sit down, please. Everybody sit down, please.
I'm getting out of here.
That's fine. Everybody sit down, please. Is your hand okay? Okay. No, it's not.
This is disgusting. Disgusting.
Just pull it out.
Disgusting.
And look, the idea
he's a
that
badass. I gotta say, his arm. You watch
yeah.
that arm. It fucking just you hear it go,
and
it just
I'll say,
snaps. And
I'll repeat. Yeah, and I'll repeat myself. Like, could this been
Marines are badasses?
Could this be just some sort of like quote unquote woke leftist performance in a Marine uniform? Sure, it could be that. Like, it doesn't change what this looks like. So, like, you gave him what he wanted, essentially. I mean, I'm sure he didn't want the broken arm, but you gave him exactly what he wanted. This is blowing up all over the place.
It was just like, yeah, I don't understand. No, I mean, I guess I do understand it because people just follow it like the Pied Piper who's playing the fiddle and then pulls all the kids out, like all of the kids out of the fucking ship. Aw. Corey, despite most people finding you unattractive, I want you to know that you'll be okay. Don't give up. I find you attractive. Are you circumcised? First off, ask my wife. And I'm the best goddamn looking person this side of the Mississippi, Gloria. So
he doesn't
need
have a
to
chin.
take those. You have those glasses, but they obviously don't fucking work.
Nobody's ever seen Corey's chin, though. We don't know if he has one or not.
Found the undercover Mossad agent.
you think Gloria's a Mossad agent? Am I being honeypotted right now?
Like Eric Swalwell. Anyway, I don't give a fuck. Exactly what Brian McGinnis wanted. He got what he wanted. And,
no, you know what he wanted? He wanted to tell everyone, "Hey, don't go to war for Israel." The message is pretty clear. If you would have
Pretty
just
clear.
yelled that and then he got escorted out of there in like a civil fashion, then you probably wouldn't even have seen the video because that shit happens all the time. But no, a sitting Congress member decided to do some weird hero shit and tried to fucking join the party and broke his arm.
By
And
the
you
way,
can
that
visibly watch it
congressperson.
snap.
Who is the congressman again? I keep forgetting. Although I did look him up. I want to take a gander at how much money he takes from AIPAC.
Does this girl want my foreskin?
That's what she was asking.
Are you circumcised? Like,
Circumcised?
why? What do you want? My foreskin?
She wants to mutilate your genitals.
Look at the private chat. I'm sorry.
What are we doing here? Yeah, probably.
I don't know, just our best, man. We're just doing our fucking best.
What's the scariest thing about this right now? It's not even necessarily the war itself. It's what could come next. And you have Polymarket.
The nuclear war. Yeah, the nuclear
when will there be a nuclear weapon detonated by? March 31st, June 30th, before 2027. We're now gambling on nuclear war. This is where we've gotten.
So I listened to a lot of Breaking Points with Sagar and Jetty Crystal Ball. And a lot of times Sagar would be going off on his little high horse about gambling and shit. And it's like, while all of his arguments, like it's sound, it's like, well, what do you want? You want the government to come in and tell people how to live their lives? You want the government to tell people they're not allowed to gamble? What happened to freedom, right? This is America after all. But there was a bell, and to see if you could find this, there was like an $85,000 bet placed right before we bombed Iran. And they got a $500,000 payout. Okay. And now people are betting on fucking nuclear war. That's a little bit concerning. And
it was an account called MAGA My Man placed that Polymarket bet just hours before the strikes on Iran.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What the fuck?
I wonder if there's any insider trading going on in there.
And do you guys remember I think I talked about this. I had mentioned it probably more in like a blurb. We didn't really talk about it much. But a couple weeks ago, there was a piece. It came from, might have been New York Times. Not New York Times. I don't pay for that paywall. I wouldn't have heard it from them. But it might have been like on NPR or the USA Today's podcast, whatever. But they were talking about the concerning actions of being able to bet on war and how it might be affecting the battlefront in Ukraine.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mango tear? Put it reverse, tear!
People making a lot of money on some bullshit.
Yeah. I don't know. I got nothing to add to that. It's not good. It's just not good. I do find it interesting though. Just another kind of talking out of both sides of their mouth when you're pro-war. You always end up contradicting yourself when you're pro-war. I've kind of figured that out. Conservative influencers that like clutch their pearls when others fly foreign flags and put them in their bios.
The funniest part about this is if Biden was president or Harris right now, and the inevitable outcome of this still happening, and how Republicans would be like, "See, this wouldn't have happened under Trump."
Yep. So that's all talking out of both sides of their mouth, right? So they clutch their pearls over people flying these foreign flags. But it's really interesting how happy they are when they see that the old Iranian flag with the lion in it. Really happy when they see that all over Twitter and all over, the inevitable
watching people. First, the Ukrainian flag goes up. Then the Ukrainian flag comes down. Then the Israeli flag goes up. Then that quickly got brought down. Then it was the Palestinian flag goes up, and that gets brought down. Then the Mexican flag was up there for a little bit, and now that's down. And now it's the alternative universe's Iranian flag. It's not even a real flag. It's not even a real flag. And people are like, yep, this flag right here.
I mean, it was. It was
At
a
one
real
point.
flag. You forgot Venezuela, by the way.
Oh yeah, the Venezuelan flag.
Right.
But the fucking Iranian flag with the lion on is equivalent to someone still flying the original what was her name? Rose. Who knitted the first American flag? This is like 3rd grade history 101.
Oh my God. That name's slipping my mind as well. Somebody's fucking
Rosa something.
Yelling into their fucking it wasn't Rosa Parks, Corey.
It wasn't Rosa Parks. Her name was like Rose. Rose or Rosa. Bell, look up who stitched the first American flag. Because it wasn't
Betsy Ross. Yeah, her
Betsy
name was
Ross.
flipping.
There was a Ross or a Rose in there. I knew there was an ROS.
Her name was slipping my mind too, Corey. You don't have to feel too upset.
I don't know. It had 13 stars on it.
I know. Yeah, flying that one, or better yet, flying the Confederate flag. You lost, bro.
Yeah, the Confederate flag is a participation trophy.
You want to talk about Kristi Noem? Because this is too fucking funny to not talk about this before we get out of here. We got to end this show on a light, funny note, even though we're at war. We got to have some fun with this. So Kristi Noem was...
Yeah, that's not even new news. That we're used to it. We've been at war our entire lives.
It's so funny. Kristi Noem was shit canned.
You're
today.
fired. Get out of here.
And replaced by somebody who's just as bad. So I don't really care about that.
Donald Trump is a bad guy. He's a bad person.
I don't really care that she was fired because she was replaced by Mark Wayne Mullen, who's just as idiotic.
Seriously
as she
overweight.
Is, not worse. So the number one question surrounding Kristi Noem's firing as the head of DHS is, did Corey Lewandowski leave enough lube on that private fuck bus in the sky that Kristi Noem used tax dollars to buy? Because I don't know if Mark Wayne Mullen is going to be forced to fuck Corey Lewandowski now. Like, does he come with the job? Does his asshole come with the job?
He comes and then takes the job.
I mean, I don't know if Lewandowski's cock comes with the position, just like standing at attention.
Yeah, why didn't Lewandowski get fired? Why was it only Kristi Noem? That's a bit sexist.
Just
Daddy, you're my daddy.
So the story behind this is hilarious. It started coming out a few weeks ago, but we were too busy talking about other things to get into this a whole lot. But she was grilled by I think it was a Senate committee today. Might have been a House committee. I don't even know. Or was this yesterday? I don't really know. Time runs together. But she was grilled about fucking her subordinate with her husband sitting right behind her. And it was the most awkwardly hilarious thing that I had ever seen in a Senate judiciary hearing or House judiciary hearing. I don't even know what it was. It wasn't even a judiciary hearing. Any committee hearing, anywhere within Congress.
I never sucked any ding dongs.
That's a direct quote from
Corey
Kristi Noem.
Lewandowski, just because we share the same name.
But the best part about this is the alleged story is that Kristi Noem got this aircraft completed that she says was supposed to be used for deportations, except for it looks like a 5-star hotel inside. And the pilot allegedly forgot Kristi Noem's special blankie that she could not live without. And so Corey Lewandowski allegedly decided to berate the pilot and fire him midair. There was one small problem with that, which is that there was nobody else available to finish the journey home.
They don't know what the fuck they're doing. Do you understand that?
All over, allegedly, a blanket. I can't play our new special drop, Corey, because for some reason my computer doesn't want to get to it. It's really important. And it's maybe the most blessing. Maybe the
A blanket is a
wisest
blessing.
thing. Maybe the
Stop
wisest
talking,
thing.
man.
A blanket is a blessing.
I heard it. Maybe the wisest thing that Michael Jackson ever said. And Christy Noem clearly agrees. So super fucking awkward that the same pilot had to fly them home. It is the
That's
most
an awkward drive
wonderful. It is the most wonderful.
Like a boyfriend and a girlfriend getting in an argument, like after they leave the bar in like some rural area, and then they like pull over because they're getting in a fight, but then they both realize like, well, fuck, we both need to get in that same car together, and then they just quiet ride home.
It's the most wonderfully TMZ thing that has happened inside of a federal hearing that I have ever seen. It's hilarious. But now that we're past the awkward part, let's talk about Mark Wayne Mullen, who's taking her spot.
Well, actually, first, let me play this because this is like a little bit. Actually, let's talk about Mark Wayne Mullen. Go ahead.
Okay.
And then
So
I'll
Mark
get to
Wayne
a
Mullen-
part of it that is actually kind of serious.
So Mark Wayne Mullen, the congressman from Oklahoma, is going to take her spot, the head of DHS. And just when you think you can't get a bigger loser in one of these jobs,
Who's also very pro-Iranian war. He's a neocon stooge.
Yep, Trump finds a way. Do you remember when Mark Wayne Mullen tried to fight the head of the Teamsters Union inside of a federal hearing? Don't worry about this one, Bell. I got it. I
think it's a very rude introduction.
Just for anybody who doesn't remember, this is your new DHS secretary.
Mr. O'Brien himself, his behavior, as everybody knows, and it's here. And the last time, him and I kind of had a back and forth. Appreciate your demeanor today. It's quite different. But after you left here, you got pretty excited about the keyboard. In fact, you tweeted at me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And let me read what the last one said. It said, greedy CEO who pretends like he's self-made. Sir, I wish he was in the truck with me when I was building my plumbing company myself. And my wife was running the office because I sure remember working pretty hard and long hours. Pretends like he's self-made. What a clown. Fraud. Always has been, always will be. Quit the tough guy act and these Senate hearings. You know where to find me. Any place, anytime, cowboy. Sir, this is a time, this is a place. If you want to run your mouth, we can be two consenting adults. We can finish it here.
Okay, that's fine. Perfect.
You want to do it now?
I'd love to do it right now.
Well, stand your butt up then.
You stand your butt up.
Oh, hold on.
Big guy.
Oh, stop it.
Is that your
All right.
solution?
Hold it. No, sit down. Sit down. Okay. You know, you're a United States Senator. Sit down.
Active.
Oh, okay.
Sit down, please.
All right.
Can I respond? Mr.
Hold
Chairman?
it. Hold it. We can't. I'm sorry.
This is
Hold
what
it.
he said.
You'll have your time.
Okay.
Can I respond?
Oh, no, you can't. This is a hearing. And God knows the American people have enough contempt for Congress. Let's not
I don't
make
like
it worse.
thugs and
You-
bullies.
You have,
And that's
you
what-
have
I don't
your
like
time.
you because you
Hold
just
it.
described yourself.
Hold it.
I just love, I love Bernie
that-
Sanders being the voice of
Dude,
reason in
all
that.
right,
That
all
is
right.
just
So
great.
Bernie Sanders right there. I don't know how rowdy your family gets at like sometimes holiday functions.
Don't you ever accuse me of a crime.
Alright. But it's like Grandpa shows up with some really good moonshine and he tells everyone, don't fucking get too faded. Don't get too fucked up. This is just for some social lubrication to make everyone have a good time. And then 2 hours later, 2 family members are trying to get in a fight and trying to fuck each other up. And he's going, hey.
he's wagging his cane at you.
And then I don't want any of that shit.
Hitting you in the knees.
But yeah, this is the emotionally stable guy that's now in charge of the DHS who gets mad over tweets.
He's talking about freedom, you fucking queers!
He sat there stewing. Fucking O'Brien, that motherfucker, I'll show him.
And he's also the guy, Mark Wayne Mullen is also the guy, a guy that supported the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, which was a blatantly unconstitutional bill. Even Matt Walsh and also
was that something
Charlie
about
Kirk.
hate speech? Oh, was that hate
Yep.
speech? He's a fucking woke liberal.
Yep. Yeah, I guess he is. And Charlie Kirk and Matt Walsh both said that it was a blatantly unconstitutional bill. And then he whined that Rand Paul killed the Anti-Semitism Awareness Act, a guy that vehemently supported this. I'm sure he'll be super fair to any immigrants who are here saying mean things about Israel. I'm sure he'll be really, really fair about that. What do you think?
Well, you know
Corey?
what? I bet you he will be. And here's why. Because old Donald Trump decided to.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Immigrants are good now, aren't they?
Oh, no, it's gone.
Did you lose it? Hit the
The
refresh
tweet was deleted.
Delete the word
Alright.
at the end of the link. Delete the word at the end of the link and then redo it.
Try it again, Corey. Try it again. Because there was a video of Donald Trump saying immigrants are good now.
I will try again. We can do this, and we will do
People can
this.
find it. People can find it.
Hello. Yeah. I'm here for the gangbang.
Oh, it's right here.
There you go. There you go. I knew
There
you
it
could do
is.
it, Corey. I knew you could do it.
Bell was right.
Found it.
He's
I found you.
he's been down this road before.
Donnie, you're out of your element.
So here's Donald Trump changing his, and it's like almost like, are midterms coming up or something?
Yeah. Is this from today? Or was like this is a few days ago?
Dan, this is live. But it might be it's probably it's obviously very recent.
Many countries opened up their prisons and dropped them into the United States. Those are the people who are getting out. And we have a lot of heart. And I said, you got to lighten up on this. We have a lot of heart for people. They came in illegally, but they're good people, and they're working now on farms, and they're working in luncheonettes and hotels.
Sounds like his lobbyist when it came to click
And,
receipts.
we're not
Sounds like a
looking,
Democrat.
We're looking to get the criminals out right now, the criminals. And I think it's very important. I mean, every once in a while you see a story, we take somebody. He should be out because they came in illegally. So in theory, they should be. But we're focused on the murderers, the drug dealers, the mentally insane. We have a lot of mentally insane killers. I mean, you can't even talk to them. It'd be nice if you could have a little reason, but you can't even reason. These are seriously ill people. You have a couple of countries where they were loaded up. Their mental institutions and insane asylums were loaded to the gills. They couldn't get. They're empty now, but they're filling up because we're bringing them all back. We know where they came from. And every
They won't
country
talk
accepts
to
them.
us, but
You
we
what?
know where they
Right?
came
They
from.
wouldn't say they had so little respect that they'd bring them there. And they wouldn't take them. They said, "Get the hell out of here." They would be bringing a plane in to land in a country.
Yeah, but it went
Can you,
from
like,
get all
shut
of the
up?
illegals out of here. That hey, some of them actually are doing a pretty decent job.
Yeah, now we're on.
Now
Now
he sounds like
we're
a
off to-
Democrat. Now he sounds like a Democrat. Is like, but who's gonna pick all of our crops
and clean our hotel rooms? Yeah, dude, it's
You're a fat loser and you have body odor.
yeah, more or less. It's now we're on to we've softened it up a little bit because we're getting a little closer to midterms, as you said, Corey. So now, like, some of these immigrants are kind of okay. And so, yeah. So you're right. Maybe Mark Wayne Mullen will be a little bit more fair than Kristi Noem was. I mean, as long as he takes a load from Corey Lewandowski once a day and inside of the aerial bang bus that Kristi Noem now has to hand over.
It'll probably be, the turnover rate in pilots will probably go down.
A blanket is a blessing. I'd play it, but I can't. For some reason, my entire right side of my screen is frozen. I have no idea why it's doing that. I can play things that I can see, but I can't scroll up and down. I don't know what the problem is.
Come on now, you expect me to believe that?
Yeah. So there we go.
Man, you are one pathetic loser.
That's your.
I'll add this
DHS
because
secretary.
we're making fun of Kristi Noem, but there was clearly some like serious bullshit going on. We have a government right now, like, and here's the thing that kills me, right? Trump comes in, and he's like, Doge. They're naming off all this shit in the beginning with a Doge's finding of all this fraud. And you and I were both in the beginning like, all right, let them cook. These NGOs and all this shit, those are the soft powers that are used for regime change and stuff. All right, we're finding this shit. You and I both were like, here we go. All right. This is
That was
pretty
part of the
good.
honeymoon. Short-lived honeymoon.
Very short-lived, because then they cut all this money, but then the budget didn't decrease. It only increased, deficits raised. And then you see shit like this right here.
Two of them were inaccurate, Madam Secretary. I'll read from the notice from your agency. Given the immediate action to significantly reduce illegal immigration and border crossings, DHS identified 4 companies. 4 of the hundreds of thousands of companies in the United States, you identified 4. One of those is this Safe America Media company. Where is Safe America Media headquartered?
I don't know.
I don't know either, Madam Secretary. We can't find it. We can't find a website. We did find an address that's registered for this company. Do you know where that address is?
Is there a problem with this contract?
I'll
Because
tell you
was
about
done
it.
according to
Madam
law.
Secretary,
It
the
was done by career
address is
officials.
registered to a political
It was
operative.
dollars that
Madam
were spent
Madam Secretary, the
to
company,
inform
and then I'll
people
give you
that
an
the
opportunity to
laws-
respond. The company is registered to a political operative in Virginia. Do you know, just by way of example, whether this company that received $143 million in taxpayer dollars, has it ever done work for the government before?
I don't know. I can't.
The answer is it has not. And do you know why we know that? Because it was incorporated 8 days before this contract went out. You want the American people to believe that this is all above board?
Yes,
that
I-
$143 million of taxpayer money just happened to go to this one company that doesn't have a headquarters, doesn't have a website, has never done work for the federal government before, and is registered apparently or attached to a residence from a political operative. And of course, one of the subcontractors of that contract, as you know, is a political firm that's tied to you back when you were governor of South Dakota. The reason why I ask these questions is that this is taxpayer money. And I presume, I don't know this for a fact, but Senator Tillis noted yesterday the way in which your agency is blocking the Inspector General from 11 different investigations that it is trying to conduct. I don't know if this happens to be one of them. I certainly hope it is, because eventually the facts will become public in this regard. And
So the whole
Corey, I know what to do. Corey, I know what to do. Before you start, all we got to do, somebody call Nick Shirley. Got to get Nick Shirley on this. He'll figure it out.
No, he won't.
I mean, he did it with the Somalis, and he did it with California, or wherever the hell he went.
He's a Republican shill, because there is a
call Nick
ton of
Shirley.
welfare fraud happening by Hasidic Jews in was that New Lake, New Jersey, or Newark, one of those areas in New Jersey where the money is. There's a lot of money also there that might not be the Somalian amount, but it's still a hefty, like in the millions of dollars happening there, but no one's looking into that.
I've never had such a great assistant. I'm gonna
It's
call
really,
you
really
the Goy
shitty
Wonder.
that just fraud and and all of this type of different shit is being politicized towards like one side is allowing it based on who their base is, and the other side is defending it who based on their base, and it's a fucking mess. And it's the only way to really solve it is I don't know, just take all the toys away from all of them.
No, honestly, I like Hannah Cox's solution to this. We're going to lose some good people in the process. And I don't mean by death. I just mean by they won't be in office anymore. Just vote out every incumbent. Like, that's the only way the American people are going to take back any semblance of power. If you're not doing the job for us, you're gone. Vote out every incumbent. Yes, that would mean we have to vote out Thomas Massie and Rand Paul. That's what that would mean. But here's the thing about Thomas Massie and Rand Paul. I think if you told them everybody's getting voted out, we're starting fresh, I think they would look at that and go, all right, I'll make that sacrifice. Plus, it opens up a Massie Paul ticket for president in 2028. Let's go. Let's just get this done.
Yeah.
I've just had it. It's just like, I'm not listening to your cult anymore. And when I say your cult, if you're offended by the fact that I said that, I'm probably talking to you.
Then I'm talking about you.
Exactly. It's just like, that's the only way it's ever going to go away. I shouldn't say that's the only way it's ever going to go away, because there are much worse and more violent ways it could go away, which I'm certainly not rooting for. But if you're ever going to vote your way out of this, and I don't know if it's possible, that's the black pill side of me, I guess. It's the only way you're going to do it. You got to vote out every incumbent. And what's nice is, Corey, we talked about this a little bit earlier, just to shift gears a little bit, is the primaries that we've seen so far. I got to tell
looks
you,
like that's what they're doing.
I got to tell you, I'm happy.
Out.
Right. Jasmine Crockett out.
We named
Collins,
a third one earlier in the episode. Susan Collins out.
So isn't that
really funny too? Great. This is something that's also really hilarious. That MAGA is still doing the shit they did in 2016, where they're claiming victory in primaries because the Trump endorsed primary candidate won. But then, like, most of the time, they ended up getting shellacked in the general. But they're all claiming victory because Trump endorsed this person in the primary and they beat out the other person.
Yeah, and like we saw with the midterms in Trump's first term, when Trump's not on the ballot, MAGA don't do very well. I don't, and now, especially with the war and the fact that we're going to see hikes in gas prices, and we're going to see,
hikes in everything,
probably more hyperinflation,
because now he's doing War Powers Act, where he wants to use the government to increase, which fucking pinko, he wants to use war powers to boost up the building of like missiles and stuff like that for THAAD and Patriot for the Patriot missiles and stuff like that, right? Well,
he's talking about freedom.
If you're going to do that, that means you're using government subsidies to overpay for these resources that the free market can't afford. So now phones are going to get more expensive. Your game consoles are going to get more expensive. Your laptops, your cars, your fucking down to everything's a smart fucking thing now. Your furnaces, everything else is going to get more expensive because the government is paying more money willingly for these special resources and natural resources that they need to accumulate to create bombs to literally fucking blow up. So everything else.
You sure about that?
Yeah, I'm fucking sure about that. Who the fuck do you think you are?
A blanket is a blessing.
A blanket is a blessing.
Blankets are going to get expensive too.
They will, because exactly, because they're going to need money for uniforms, because they can't give bloodied up, shot up uniforms to the next soldier after the previous one was killed. That they need to make a new one.
What is this? Bolshevik Russia?
I'm so sorry. I wish I could do something, but I can't.
Yeah, it's going to be, dude, it's going to be a bloodbath. Like these midterms are going to be, I mean, you have Nick Fuentes out there saying that people need to vote for Democrats.
Yeah.
But you know what that tells me about a guy like Nick Fuentes, who obviously you and I both have our
fucking hate him. He's principled.
Kind of, yeah. Yeah, it's sad when a guy like Nick Fuentes is showing that he is more principled than most other
JD
MAGA
Vance.
influencers out there. Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's the whole thing is like,
dude, we were fans of JD Vance on this show before he became
I
VP.
know.
We played
we were
videos
also
of him when the East Palestine train derailed and that shit happened, and that was his district, and he was in there with his fucking jeans rolled up, and he's standing in the water going, "Look at this shit. This is a mess." And the Biden administration is trying to cover it up. And we were like, well, fuck yeah, they are. Like, fuck this. No wonder, because the EPA is basically completely privately funded, just like the FDA. Like, we talked about this on the fucking show.
But then you realize, and this is, we're still learning lessons too, which is that these people, they're just careerists. It's all JD Vance is. That we found out that's what Tulsi Gabbard is. That's what RFK Jr. is. They're phony careerists who what they did was they did a really good job.
Breaking news. RFK the lawyer is a sleazebag. Who fucking knew?
Yeah. Well, what we realized was that, like, those are the guys and girls that did a really good job of saying the right things, but still underneath making it all about their political ambitions. Right. So, like, what JD Vance did in East Palestine, those few years ago, he said what he said was right. You know what I mean? But
it wasn't because it was right, but it's because it was for his political ambitions.
100%. And like, that's all well and good until you get in power. And Donald Trump, over the course of his, how long has it been now? A little over a year? What are we talking about? A year and a couple of months, or a year and a month and a half, or whatever, since he was sworn back in, was already harming the Republicans' ability to win some of these midterm elections within like a couple of months, as we talked about. But the Iran war, man, he torpedoed it now. Like, that's the final torpedo. And the sad part about it is, I firmly believe that, yes, Israel led us into this war. But also, I do think that Trump thought that this was going to just be another thing where he was just going to have to get Israel off of his back. It was going to be just like Venezuela. It was going to be just like the 12-day war. Like, some of this was the hubris of Trump, that he was just going to be able to get in and get out. And he was relying on, and Dave Smith's talked about this a bunch of times. The only reason the 12-day war was a 12-day war was because of Iran's restraint. It's the only reason. That thing didn't go any further. Now, you kill our leader, we're not going to play ball on this anymore. And to them now...
Yeah, and whether you agree with Islam or not, that was like basically equivalent to like killing the Pope.
Yeah, he's a religious figure. He's not just the leader of Iran. He's a religious figure.
Now, I'm not saying all of Islam listens to his words and listens to what he says.
Shias
just like in Christianity, not like, there's the non-denominational, there's the Lutheran, there's the Baptist, there's the Episcopal, there's the Church of Latter-day Saints. Actually, Church of Latter-day Saints is Mormon. That's actually a very big fringe. Those people don't
about the Catholics.
Those people don't follow the Pope like the actual Catholics do.
There we go.
But if you killed the fucking Pope, a lot of Christians are still going to be like, what the fuck? Now, the Sunnis and the Shiites and all the people in Islam, like, not all of their different denominations follow the Ayatollah, but that was still someone in their sphere of influence for their fucking religion. It's equivalent to killing the Pope.
He was also a religious figure.
And if you scoff at that, you're either A, refusing to look at things with like an objective, clear mind, or B, you're just fucking stupid.
And I don't take no orders from no woman, by the way.
Actual audio from the Ayatollah.
How about we all come together and say, let's stop attacking pedophiles?
Well, why don't we do that? You know, come on, listen to Ted Cruz and his fucking wise words. The one who's going after Dave Smith right now, even though Trump, like he's Ted Cruz is straight cucking for Donald Trump when Donald Trump told him to his face that his wife looked like she had a dog face.
Yeah, you remember, and he just took it like a bitch.
He did. He took it like a straight up bitch.
I don't have anything else other than Nancy Mace is trying to, and her glorious rack are trying to.
Oh, dude, the sexual
Bondi.
harassment vote. Dude, no, not even that. Did you see the one about the sexual harassment vote?
I was getting there. God damn it! Yes, Nancy Mace. She subpoenaed Pam. Successfully got a subpoena for Pam Bondi for a deposition over the Epstein Files, and the House responded, or Congress responded by immediately in the House voting to hide their own misconduct by continuing to cover up ethics committee records regarding sexual harassment. What was that for?
What was that for?
I don't know. I was the only one on the screen there for a minute.
Yeah, it was. I fucking changed to a different soundboard, and
she's she's referring to a slush fund used allegedly to silence victims of sexual harassment by members of Congress, and all of that's being done with a slush fund paid for by Corey. You know the answer to this question: taxpayer dollars.
Shut up, bitch.
It's so funny that I say that as I make mention of Nancy Mace's glorious breasts and I talk about congressional sexual harassment.
Go outside, nerd. Get out.
I'm just paying her.
I ain't got time to be distracted by your worthless chime-ins. Go on.
I'm just paying homage to a beautiful woman. That's all. That's all I'm doing.
that's all you're doing.
Yeah. You got anything else? Or do you want to elaborate? Do you want to elaborate on this at all?
What elaborate on what?
On the goddamn House voting to hide their own misconduct by continuing to cover up ethics committee records regarding sexual harassment.
I mean, all I really have from it is like the list of everyone who voted against it, and then I guess
Which is almost everybody,
including AOC. Because then she came out and she was trying to say, well, there wasn't any like serious law in it that protected the actual victims. And as a victim myself,
it's always about
people
the
need to be protected. And it's like, this is why bills need to, and it's like, there's an easy solution to this, Dan. Stop making bills with a bunch of earmarks and like 40 pages long and just make them simple. But we're at war. Our government is corrupt, and they're spying on you more than ever. And Anthropic is like right now trying to fucking get back on their knees to get that sweet government money. So
everything is awesome. Everything is cool when you're part of a team. Everything is awesome.
Yeah, that's everything's going right now. You know what I gotta say about it?
It's gonna be it's gonna be a long It's gonna be a long 2 3/4 more years, Corey.
Yeah, I'm tired of it.
And maybe more.
Of this, Grandpa.
Oh, and let me just reiterate this before you tell the people where they can find us. Hating your government is the most patriotic thing you can do. Please don't forget that. That's it. That's my words of wisdom. Now you can tell the people where they can find us.
Libsertive Podcast is found on all social media and podcast platforms. Our website is libsertiveshow.com. We can be found at Libsertive on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitch. Instagram and Twitter at LibsertivePod. Our TikTok videos can be found at Libsertive Podcast, and you can reach out directly at libsertivepod@gmail.com. Subscribe today.
And don't forget to hit that notification bell.
Yeah, subscribe.
When we're going live. Gotta do that too. Tell a friend. It's really important. Rebel the Bodysnatcher all night on the ones and twos, live from war-torn Tehran using dial-up internet. He, as always, has been Corey Walsh.
And he's been Dan Griffin.
It's been Libservative Intellectual Idiots Fostering Political and Cultural Literacy and the world's smartest internet show. And until next time,
blanket is a blessing.
We are out of
The great fundamental issue now before our people. We, the people, cannot turn back. Somebody must lead, or else the fight would not be made at all.